Hi everyone, Sabrina here, and today I'll be showing you part 2 of the 10 cards 1 kit using the January Hero Arts card kit. So for the first card, I decided to take that pretty pattern paper and cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'll take that heart die and cut the heart towards the top center. But it kind of shifted, but that's okay because I'm going to add a bow to the left-hand side anyway. I am going to keep all those little bits inside. And then I also decided to cut a black heart. And then I'm also going to cut a heart from this pink shimmer cardstock. And I end up using the card base in my 7th card. So I'm going to kind of be working on both of these simultaneously, but I'm going to focus on both of them in a second. Right now I'm just adhering both of them to the card bases. And this is double-sided tape I got from Joann's. I think it's from Miss Sparkle Company. I ran out of ATG, so this stuff works fine. So with both of these cards, I decided to do an inlay style. So that's why I'm keeping all of those inside pieces. And then I also wanted to glue down those tail ends to make sure that they don't pop up. So I guess I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sabrina. I'm currently a college student. I'm a junior and I attend school in Florida. My major is political science, but this is my passion. I love to craft. And I have a business called Scrappy Tales. You saw my logo in the beginning. And basically I just sell all my cards online and also through a store in Florida and through Amazon as well. I started selling my cards when I was 16, and so I've been doing it for a little bit over 3 years now, and it's been great. I do it as my part-time job. It pays rent. Oh, and by the way, I'm just like I said, I'm inlaying all those pieces in, and it might look like it's tedious, but I think it only took me like 10 minutes. I first put in the big pieces, and then the smaller pieces were easier to fit in after that. If you're good at jigsaw puzzles, this is fine. Anyway, so you can find me by searching Scrappy Tales. I do have a blog, I have a Pinterest, and I'll link everything down below. I did get a question about how to sell my cards. Like I said, I just decided to sell them because I had an abundance of cards and I wanted to see if they'd sell. I first started off by going to craft shows, and now I'm pretty much only selling my cards online. I did decide to sell these cards actually. I'm going to be posting 5 of my favorite onto Etsy and Amazon, and you can purchase any of the 5 and then I will include another card, but you won't know what it is. It'll be kind of like a grab bag, but the card that you see in the posting and the one that is purchased is what you will receive, and then you'll just receive another card that you see from this video. So here I'm just going to add some ribbon to the left hand side, and I'll also add a bow to the bottom left corner. And I really like how that inlay turned out. That pattern paper is really pretty. I'd also like to thank everyone who subscribed. I got an abundance of comments and views. I'm very surprised how well it picked up on, and it's really encouraged me to keep making these videos. If you guys want to see just some like plain cards, I specialize mostly in pop-up box cards and pop-up cards, but I'd be happy to show you guys what I do if anyone's interested. But I will for sure keep making these because I will continue the subscriptions for Hero Arts. So now I'm going to take the Sending Love sentiment and I'm going to emboss that with some white embossing powder. I really love white on black. That seems to be a trend with these 10 cards. And then I'll hand cut that with my scissors. I'm just going to make my own little banner. And I wanted to slip that under the bow. And I did add a little heart sequin to the center of the bow. Sorry I'm kind of out of frame. I'm still new to the whole filming thing. And here I was deciding if I wanted to add any sequins, but I ended up just leaving it like that. So that was card number 6. For card number 7, I'm going to be doing the same thing. This time I took the heart from the last card and I glued that down. I end up not really liking that look because I'm making a black and white heart. I wanted it to look kind of like a yin-yang. So again, here I'm going to show you more how I do the puzzling. I take the big pieces first, and I'm kind of dividing it white on the left and black on the right. Like I said, I wanted a yin-yang. And the more I was doing it, the more I realized that I didn't like the heart, like the outline of the heart. So I will go back to the pink shimmer heart, and I'm actually going to layer up a whole bunch of hearts. Like here I'm showing you, I cut out a whole bunch. One is cut out of white Neenah 110 cardstock, and then black 110 cardstock. And then I layered it on top of that piece on the card already. So it built up a really nice, sturdy heart. And I like how that looked because it gave that a three-dimensional look. And it kind of lowered the inside pieces. And then the more I looked at it, the more I realized it looks like stained glass. So I went and got my glossy accents, and I will put glossy accents all over the heart to make it look like glass. And I think this is probably my second favorite card. I like the black and white. I think that looks very pretty. And I do like it more with the pink heart. So here I'm just trying to show you guys how dimensional that heart has become. And then now I'm going to add my glossy accents. And I try not to hit the glossy accents with the heart, only on the inside pieces to really make it look like stained glass. Okay, and here I'll zoom in. I really love how that turned out. The camera is not really picking it up, but it's really pretty. Okay, and so for the sentiment, I wanted to keep doing the yin-yang. So I think I choose Sending Love, and I'll stamp Sending on white with black ink. Oh, here I thought I was just gonna just stamp it. But first of all, Memento ink does not stamp well on this shiny, slick paper, so I wouldn't recommend it. So like I said, I stamped Sending on white paper with black ink and Love with white embossing powder on black paper. And I really like how that one turned out. Okay, so this is card number 8, and I really like this card too. I'm going to take that pretty corner die, and I run it through my machine 6 times, cutting it with black cardstock. And I thought that the scale, because the corners are rather large, I thought it looked a bit awkward with an A2 card. So I will make a 5.5 by 5.5. I took the purple shiny paper that came in the kit. And here I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do. I know I want to glue those 4 black corners. First I'm going to adhere this purple piece. And I'm actually going to create another shaker. And you'll see what I'm about to do. And I like glossy accents for adhering intricate things like this. Okay, and then I took the last bit. I used every bit of this shiny cardstock. I really liked it. I cut initially, I think, a 2.5 by 2.5 square, but I thought that that was too big. And then I cut it down to 2 by 2, and that was actually too small for my corner pieces. So I did think for a while, and I came back to the purple, mostly because I ran out of the pink. But here is a purple. I think I cut that at 2.5 by 2.5. No, 2.25 by 2.25. And then I'm taking a square die to cut out a square so that it can create a frame. And then I'll adhere my other 2 corner pieces to that. And then I cut some acetate also to 2.25 by 2.25, and I put that on the back of the frame. And then here is that nifty foam tape I have. Like I said, if you haven't seen the first video, I did use it for my other shaker card. It is very thick, sticky tape. I did get a comment asking where I got it. I got it from uline.com, and they do have a minimum purchase requirement to get this really cheap, thick tape. I think I only paid like $6 for it, but like I said, I had to pay a minimum. For me, it's not hard to go through products really fast, so it wasn't a problem for me. But if you're just a crafter that likes to craft on the weekends or not very, full time, I don't know if it would be a good deal for you, but I will also link that below if you're interested. I really like that it is like a double foam tape. I don't have to double up on my tape. It is very thick, very sticky though. So there's my shaker. I really think that looks pretty. And then I was just going to adhere it, but I felt like I needed to incorporate the pink more. So literally going to my last piece of scraps. Here, I didn't have a strip long enough. But I knew that square would be covering it up, so it was okay. I'm going to adhere those pink strips down, and then here I'm taking a heartfelt die, and for the center piece I wanted to do a little heart. So for the scallop part I'll do pink, using that pink shimmer paper, and then a white heart. And then I'll take the stamp set and spell out love you, and then I'll stamp that with VersaFine ink. And then I'll take a pop dot and pop the white heart on top of the pink. And then adhere those pink strips. And then I take another foam square and I'll pop the pink off of that square. So this is a really dimensional card, but I think it turned out very pretty. Now, with that square die that I used to cut the square frame, I was left with all these little tiny skinny frames. So I wanted to use them, and I wanted to use all that pretty pattern paper I had left. So using this paper and a few other colors, I'm going to mat all of these little frames onto some paper. And I end up creating sort of like a tribal print. It ends up looking really geometric with all the squares. So it's not a average looking Valentine's Day card, but I think it's really cool looking. And I think I used dark gray. I tried to coordinate colors with that pattern paper, so I chose gray, red, and pink. And then my frames are the shiny pink and the shiny purple. And for that gray square, I wanted to stamp the ampersand. And I'll come back to that. Here I just wanted to make sure I got all of my colors cut. So now I'm going to stamp the and symbol, and I'll white emboss that. And then for that square, I was kind of nervous because if you remember in the first video, the fabric paper didn't really emboss well. But for some reason it worked on this one. I stamped out, what did I stamp out? I think I stamped love on that pattern paper, and then here I'll stamp friendship. So it'll read love and friendship. Oh, sending love and friendship. And then here's how that print ended up looking. I didn't really, it took a long time for me to figure out that pattern, but you will see me adhering everything down, so nothing is adhered right now. And so for the and symbol, I popped it up using that double thick tape. For the friendship, I just adhered it with glue. And then the sending love, I'm going to adhere that with normal thickness tape. I hope I'm not confusing anyone. I have two different tapes. This one's like the normal 3M. So it's not quite as high as the and symbol right now. So I'm going to have 3 different levels. So some of the squares I'm going to adhere just straight down. Others I'll use the regular tape, and then others I'll use the ultra thick tape. And I liked the way it looked when I kind of twirled some of the squares to make them look like diamonds. And I was experimenting with the level of these too, so sometimes I would glue the 3rd layer down, but then pop up the 2nd and then glue the 3rd. So I liked all the different dimensions I got with this card. And then I will I originally had a white card base, but I didn't think that it was popping off enough, so I did glue down that same gray paper I used on top of my card base. And then I just glued down that panel. I thought the gray made it stand out a little more. And at first I thought I was gonna foam tape it, but then I thought that that might be too much dimension and that postage might get a little high, so I just taped it down with regular tape. So for the last card, I wanted to use this stamp again. I originally stamped it with a block, but I didn't like how that turned out, so I did get my Misty out. And I'm going to use that pink ink that came in the kit to stamp that love out. And then for the layering piece, I'll use the red ink that came in the kit. So I do think I used everything in the kit apart from the gems, but I think that was just like a bonus gift anyway. I ended up using every die in the kit and every stamp, so, and every ink pad. I love that love stamp, super pretty. And then again, I'll take that heartfelt die and cut a heart out of the love. And then I'll take the scalloped heart and cut that out of pink cardstock. And then I did make a red 4 by 5¼ panel that I'll adhere down to my card base. This one's going to be the only top folding card. Landscape top folding card. So I'm just going to adhere the white heart on top of the scalloped heart, and then I'll pop up the scalloped heart with my regular foam tape. And like I said, this is really sticky tape, so I usually try to take some of the sticky off because even my Tim Holtz scissors can't handle the stickiness. Okay, and then I thought that it needed 2 more hearts, so I'm going to cut out 2 white scalloped hearts, 1 pink heart, and 1 of the purple shimmer cardstock hearts. And you can see that that one's kind of folded in. I did run that pink heart through my Gemini to flatten it again, to flatten it out. And then I felt like the purple heart needed a sentiment, so I'm going to stamp out "Love You So Much." And be sure to use VersaFine with these shimmer cardstocks because the Memento didn't work. And then I'll pop that up. And for this heart, I pop up the scallop heart and the pink heart. I like when a card has different dimensions on it. And then I decided to add some sequins and add some hearts in the center of the holes because I'm not a fan of the holes. And that'll complete card 10. I'm going to go through every card I made. I have little to no supplies besides the dies and the stamps left. I do have a few sequins, but I did end up using a lot of the kit. Or all of the kit, actually. And like I said, I will sell these cards on my Etsy. I'll leave everything down below if anyone's interested. And I will provide a second card with your purchase from this series. So I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing, all the new people that have commented. I'm very excited to see that this YouTube has actually gotten views. I wasn't expecting much because I have made YouTube videos in the past, but they weren't great quality. I now think I have a better understanding of my filming situation, so I do hope to make some more videos. I will keep making these series. If you guys liked it, leave a comment below. Tell me which was your favorite card, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.